Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving you my final Critics' Choice Awards nominations predictions. Alright, it is literally 2 a.m. I really should be going to bed right now. I have work tomorrow, or technically today, because it is 2 a.m. Also, I want to let you guys know, I've gotten 5 memberships now! There are 5 people in my memberships! That is so cool! I'm really happy about that. Thank you to all of you who have been becoming members. That really means a lot to me, and it really helps me, make this channel grow, and I'm at a loss for words. Thank you guys so much for becoming members. It really does mean a lot to me, and I'm not gonna disappoint you, promise. Let's just start off with Best Picture. Alright, given that AFI list that we saw, it's kind of hard for me to not say that this is going to be the Critics' Choice lineup. I mean, I know it's weird, but it's like, what would get snubbed? Like, what would get snubbed at this point? Like, I know, like, the substance looks like it could be very strong, maybe, but it's also like, I don't know. Like, the Critics' Choice Awards do tend to go more safe with what they think is getting nominated for the Oscar. Like, their favorite movie of the year, like, last year was, like, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and yet they barely nominated it in anything substantial. Whereas, like, some of the stuff like, Nickel Boys, A Real Pain, like, this just does kind of make sense. But again, I am watching out for the substance. So, in terms of who's winning, I don't think Sing Sing is winning here. I think The Brutalist is going to be that film that seems like it's going to be sweeping. Or it could be Anora. Anora could be that film as well. But, right, like, it's kind of between those two. Wicked, I think Wicked's gonna get, like, a shit ton of award nominations here. I mean, good God, like, it's, like, the biggest thing ever right now. It could be like Barbie last year, where Barbie, like just was the dominant nomination tally film. I don't know if that's even really a thing, but that does make sense to me. But at the same time, I don't know. Because, like, I'm not exactly sure how many awards I'm predicting it to get nominated for. But, like, unlike Barbie, this can get visual effects. But at the same time, I also don't have a second supporting nomination. And also, this doesn't have a lot of song nominations as well. So that's kind of hard to figure out. But I'm not really so sure how well Wicked's going to do later on in the season. But right now, the iron is hot, and the Critics' Choice Awards are going to go, like, insane for Wicked. Sing Sing, again, it's safely in there. Like, it's getting the nominations it needs. And, like, people were saying, oh, man, this is, like, a bottom 5 contender. It might not even get nominated for Best Picture. It's like, no, it will. Calm down. Like, and sure enough, it's, like, people are nominating it, all right? There are even critics groups that are nominating it in the top 5. Like, it's gonna be fine. Conclave, again, pretty safe bet, I assume. Like, it has the acting nominations, it has screenplay. I think it's going to do a little bit better here than it would the Oscars, because I feel like the Oscars are a little bit more highbrow with some of the texts. But still, Conclave is going to do well here. Dune, Complete Unknown. A Complete Unknown is especially one of those movies where it's like, it's coming up late, and you're probably wondering why I have it so high up. And that's because I just feel like A Complete Unknown is just going to be that staple. That film that people don't like are just going to go, you know what? It's going to get nominated. It's going to be like Maestro, where it's just going to kind of get the nominations it needs. Again, aside from the ones where, like, clearly they didn't see the movie because of its late release date. But still. Emilia Perez, why do I have this movie so further down in the list? Because the critics groups are not going out for Emilia Perez. They don't like this movie. Like, sure, AFI did it, and the Astra Awards did it, but no one else did. This is, like, hell, the San Francisco critics, which, granted, obviously that's one critics group, that's not the be-all or end-all, but they didn't even nominate Emilia Perez in Best Foreign Language Film. People are quickly turning on this movie. Like, I think it'll still be in, but, man, like, this thing is just going downhill faster than I thought it would. Whereas Nickel Boys and A Real Pain, I feel like they're on the rise. It's like, okay, people are starting to nominate them. So, I feel like that's where we kind of are. Again, it is the AFI top 10, but I don't know what else would get in. again, you could maybe argue the substance, but again, like the Critics' Choice Awards don't really go all that risky in Best Picture these days. They kind of do just try to predict the Oscars, and this is about as like Oscars of a lineup as you could get. Like, this is kind of predictable. So yeah, if they wanted to do something else, maybe challengers. Again, it like you could probably nominate it for like screenplay and score, but there's not much else. I mean, okay, maybe editing. You could maybe do that. Gladiator 2, this would have to be, like, if Gladiator 2 got in, this would be like how they did Saltburn, where it's like, really? You went for that? Like, even though it was clearly not one of the most acclaimed films, it just kind of stumbled in there because of, them trying to copy the Oscars. But, or not copy, because obviously the Oscar nominations have not come out, but you know what I mean. They're trying to predict the Oscars. But I don't know, Gladiator 2, like, even the critics groups aren't really going for Gladiator 2, but then again, I don't know. The Wild Robot, this kind of lives or dies by the Golden Globes, because if the Golden Globes nominate this film rather handsomely, like, let's say it gets in over the substance, well, then that's pretty good for it. That's pretty good for the film. Saturday Night, this could also be one of those films where it's like, it's obviously not the most acclaimed, but if the Critics' Choice Awards want to kind of go for it, they could. And there's definitely some nominations I could see Critics' Choice throwing at it. Queer, it made the National Board of Review, which I like. All right, maybe, but I don't know. Blitz, this would also be like a Saltburn type pick, where it's like a movie that really no one really cares about, except okay. Well, people started to really care about Saltburn once it hit streaming, but when Blitz hit streaming, people just didn't even like it. People were like, no, what is this stupid? The Room Next Door, I feel like that's more of a Globes thing to do. See the Sacred Fig, that's more of a BAFTA thing to do. September 5, I'm Still Here, The Piano Lesson, probably not going to happen at all. Yeah. Director. Alright, this is where I feel like we will start to see Nickel Boys do pretty well and Emilia Perez underperform. Because right now I have Brady Corbett winning for The Brutalist. I feel like, him directing this sprawling U.S. epic that was made for like $6 million. I feel like that's just going to be seen as like, oh man, what a great directing achievement. It's large scale. It kind of has everything going for it. Anora, you have Sean Baker attached, so it's like, alright, maybe. Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. I don't think he's going to get the Oscar nomination, but I do think he would get nominated here. But then we have Wicked. Because I feel like Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, and maybe even DGA are going to nominate Wicked for director. Because, again, it's just a big thing at the moment. Nickel Boys, again, like I said before, I feel like this is a film that's going to start slowly showing up. I don't think, Ramel Ross is going to get nominated at the Golden Globes. But Critics' Choice and DGA, that's all I would really need to be convinced that Ramel Ross was happening. Edward Berger for Conclave. I feel like, yeah, he could probably get nominated here. Again, I don't think he gets the Oscar nomination at the end of the day, which would technically mean I only have 2 out of 5 with the Oscar nominees here, which doesn't feel right, but I don't even... then again, I don't know. I don't even... Because I have Jacques Audiard outside for Emilia Perez, which, again, doesn't sound normal, because we've been talking about, like, Emilia Perez as, like, a potential top 3 contender. But again, the movie is losing so much steam. The critics circles don't like this movie. And I feel like we're going to be kind of shocked as to maybe how badly it's underperforming. Greg Cuidar for Sing Sing. If they really like Sing Sing, they could nominate Greg Cuidar. That could happen. If The Substance is in Best Picture at the Critics' Choice Awards, oh, you absolutely know that Coralie Verjat's going to get nominated for Best Director. But I'm kind of unsure as to what's going to happen with The Substance right now, so I kind of have her just out. Luca Guadagnino for Challengers. Again, if they really like Challengers, they might nominate Guadagnino, because his stamp is all over the film. So maybe. Ridley Scott for Gladiator 2. I don't think this is happening. Again, I don't think anyone really cares about Gladiator 2. If this were a list of 10 nominees, then maybe I could see Ridley Scott. But as of now, I'm not really convinced of that. Jason Reitman for Saturday Night, Pedro Almodovar for The Room Next Door, Mohamed Ruslan for See the Sacred Fig. Mainly Pedro. Mohamed, I think, would do better at like either Globes or BAFTA. At least with, probably with Mohamed Ruslan, he would definitely have to do well at BAFTA. Luca Guadagnino for Queer, Steve McQueen for Blitz. But again, I don't think it's real. Lower down the list, I don't really think anything like that is happening. Original screenplay. Once again, the Anora sweep will continue here. I feel like Anora's going to get nominated here. I think it's going to win. The Brutalist, I think, will, again, solid number 2. Unless you want to go for a Real Pain. You could also do a Real Pain for number 2, because the movie I'm thinking would get Best Picture, and it seems like a very righty movie. So that would make sense. I don't think Saturday Night gets the Oscar nomination, but I could see Saturday Night getting, like, Critics' Choice and Writers Guild, sort of like Air. So yeah, I could probably, and plus it is a very, very righty movie. I would really love it if Saturday Night got an Oscar nomination for original screenplay, but it won't. Challengers, I think, would get original screenplay here. Again, you look at the lineup, it's kind of weak, so I could probably see Challengers pulling it off. And you're probably wondering, I don't have The Substance in, and yet I have His Three Daughters and September 5 in. That is because I'm just kind of wondering if the critics are going to really go after The Substance like they've been saying they're going to do. But I don't know. I feel like they're going to back away a little bit from The Substance. Blitz, people don't really care about the movie, but I don't know, maybe if they just want to do like the most boring nomination ever, probably. Hard Truth, See the Sacred Fig. See, the Sacred Fig I could see getting the Oscar nomination, but not with the critics. The critics don't really go out that much for foreign films, so I'd say that's probably unlikely. Dee Dee, The Apprentice, yeah, I don't think they're happening. Then we have adapted screenplay. Now this is funny. Okay, I feel like the first 4 are pretty locked. Sing Sing, Conclave, Dune, Nickel Boys. Actually, maybe 5. Yeah, 5. Because I think Wicked would get in at the Critics' Choice Awards. It's not going to get at the Oscars. It's not going to get the Oscar nomination for adapted screenplay. But the Critics' Choice Awards, they would do that. They would probably do that. And then there's that 5th slot. I was thinking maybe Emilia Perez, but again, what if they just don't? What if they just want to nominate this movie like the bare minimum stuff? Because they could snub Emilia Perez out of adapted screenplay and put in Hitman instead. And yet Hitman would also get the Writers Guild Award, so you'd probably be thinking, oh wow, would Hitman get nominated for the Oscar? I don't think so. It's too much of a straight-up comedy, so probably not. A Complete Unknown is in Best Picture, so that would make sense, but I feel like that would make more sense for the Oscars, because the Critics' Choice Awards will step aside out of, the Best Picture race to look into screenplay, whereas the Oscars are more likely to just kind of go with what's in Best Picture already before looking outside of it. So I feel like A Complete Unknown would probably do the Oscars before it would do Critics' Choice. So yeah, The Wild Robot, I feel like would happen if the movie is like in Best Picture. Like if The Wild Robot somehow got Best Picture at the Critics' Choice Awards, and it would need to show up here. And also, oh god, if it got nominated for Critics' Choice Best Picture and adapted screenplay, then I think I'd have to very much say that's getting nominated for the Oscar. Because that's like the same path that, what was it? Like that Up and Toy Story 3 had. Like they got Critics' Choice Awards nominations for Best Picture and Director. No, not Director. And for Best Picture and Screenplay. And they also got PGA nominated, the Producers Guild Awards for Best Picture, and a BAFTA nomination for one of the screenplay categories. But again, I'm not sure. Like the Wild Robot didn't even make AFI or NBR, and they will go out for animated movies, so it's kind of over for the Wild Robot, I fear. The Piano Lesson, that's a maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of tightening up as is. Gladiator 2, probably not. Like, critics don't really care about that movie anymore. I'm Still Here. The Room Next Door, I feel like I'd be more inclined to say would be in at, like, the Golden Globes or BAFTAs, but we'll have to see how the Globes do. Queer, no. Inside Out 2, it's not even the most acclaimed animated film competing for this category, so definitely not. And The Fire Inside, no. Let's see. Lead actress. All right, this is where I'm really starting to, like, this is going to be really interesting, where where it's going, because, like, some critics have been going out for Amy Adams, which is great. But, God, it's so tough. And also, Carlos Sofia Gascon, I think the only, like, award nomination she's gotten this season is the Astra Award nomination for Best Actress. She's gotten in nowhere else. That's concerning. She might be on the chopping block, and I might be right. I might be right about this, because I was saying I think, like, she's vulnerable for a snub, and that might actually come true. Although, again, I at least it would probably be coming true sooner than I thought. So this is kind of chaotic right now. I don't, like, Amy Adams could get in here, but also maybe not. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I'm going to go with Angelina Jolie right now, because, okay, there is a chance that Mikey Madison might sweep, but then again, I don't know. The problem is, again, it's just that same thing where it's like, I just don't see a newcomer like Mikey Madison winning Best Lead Actress in this day and age. I just don't see that happening that much. Again, it's not impossible, but I don't know. But I will go with Angelina Jolie for now, because, yes, it is Maria is the least acclaimed out of the, you know, Pablo Larraín trilogy that he has going on, but at the same time, it is Angelina Jolie. People are praising her performance, so we'll have to see. I want to see what happens. Again, Mikey Madison, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl. I feel like she's probably going to get nominated in places. Again, she won the National Board of Review for lead actress, which obviously I don't think that means she's winning, but when you look at the stats, she's looking pretty good for a nomination right now. So, yeah. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. Again, I don't know if she's going to really get the Oscar nomination, but I feel like she would still get it here. Demi Moore for The Substance. Maybe she gets swapped out for Amy Adams, because, again, I'm just really wondering if The Substance is that strong in picture. But if The Substance didn't get Best Picture here, maybe Demi Moore would still get nominated for lead actress. I mean, I guess that's what I'm predicting, but if that were the case, then I don't think she would get the Oscar nomination, because I feel like for something like, you know, The Substance, like, she needs that Best Picture nomination to come along with her if she wants to get nominated at the Oscars. I've already talked about Carlos Sofia Gascon and Amy Adams. If Amy Adams is starting to get nominated and people are really going out for her, maybe she could still start winning again. Maybe. I want to see what happens. Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door. This would happen if, like, the movie was, like, really, really popping off, and I want to see what's going on with that. Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I feel like she would probably get more, you know, like Golden Globe and BAFTA nominations. Zendaya for Challengers. This would have to be, like, a situation where, like, they really, really, really love Challengers. I think they'll like Challengers, but I don't think they're going to love it that much. Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths. I feel like she would more, like, that's a performance I feel like would more likely go alongside, you know, the Golden Globes and BAFTA. But if she got it here, then you could maybe make an argument she's pretty strong for the Oscar. Saoirse Ronan for The Outrun. A lot of people really have her in, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think anyone really cared about The Outrun that much. And so it might be could be considered a very standard nomination if that were to happen. Julianne Moore for The Room Next Door. Again, this would definitely have to be if, like, Room Next Door was overperforming. So, yeah. Lily Rose Depp for Nosferatu. I've seen some critics talking about her. I don't think that's going to happen, but the critics circles are really, really eating up Nosferatu. Kate Winslet for Lee. Again, I feel like she's looking pretty good for the Oscar, given her campaign strategy. But I don't know if critics are going to bite. And Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, I'm just kind of putting in there, but I don't think she's really happening. Lead actor. All right, lead actor. We have Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. I feel like he's winning. Like, even the people who don't really like A Complete Unknown that much, they are still nominating, or, like, they're still saying Timothée Chalamet is, like, Oscar worthy. And so I feel like they're just going to try to go with that. But, again, they could maybe go for Adrian Brody. He might end up being the critic sweeper. Who knows? Colman Domingo for Sing Sing. Honestly, this four right here with, like, Colman Domingo and Ray Fiennes, very, very safe. There's nothing that could really shake these contenders up. Daniel Craig, I think, will get in for queer because he just feels like the option that makes the most sense for Critics' Choice. And plus, it is looking like, he will probably get the nomination again. National Board of Review nomination. That's pretty good for predicting the Oscar nomination. So there is that. What else? Oh, yeah, and I have Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain because it's in Best Picture. I feel like they're going to really want to nominate Eisenberg here. Paul Mescal, Gladiator 2. Even people who saw Gladiator 2 and liked it will say that Paul Mescal's kind of miscast here, but then again, I don't know. Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. This would be something that would happen if they had a spine, which I'm worried that they won't. Glenn Powell for Hitman. Again, he could be in contention for the Golden Globe, and maybe a SAG nomination, but I just cannot see a world where Glenn Powell gets an Oscar nomination for this. I just don't see that one bit. Kingsley Ben-Adir for Bob Marley, One Love. He could probably get SAG as well, but, I'm not exactly sure if he'll get in at the Oscars. John David Washington, I don't know, Gabriel LaBelle, Nicholas Hoult, Jesse Plemons, Sebastian Stan. Honestly, I'd be kind of shocked if it was anyone, but the top four, and I just feel like Jesse Eisenberg would make the most sense here. Supporting actress. All right, we have Ariana Grande. I feel like would win this. Again, Emilia Perez is just not the fact that Emilia Perez is barely getting nominated at all at the critics groups. This is it might just end up being a layout for Ariana Grande, if we're going to be completely honest. Which is very strange. It's very strange to think that this would have happened a couple months ago, but here we are. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, again, feel like very safe for a nomination. Danielle Deadweiler for The Piano Lesson, yeah, I could see that. Audrey Ellis Taylor for The Nickel Boys. I feel like this would be something where it's okay, Nickel Boys is pretty strong here. So I'm kind of guessing her. Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez, maybe, but again, the fact that Emilia Perez is kind of on a downward trajectory, she could definitely miss. She could absolutely miss. And Natasha Lyonne for His Three Daughters, that could definitely be a Critics' Choice contender. One thing I do want to note is that I'm looking out for any lone Critics' Choice acting nominees because it's been a trend for a bit that the lone Critics' Choice nomination can get you an Oscar nomination. Like last year, that was America Ferrera for Barbie. The year before that, it was, who was it? Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway. Then the year before that, it was J.K. Simmons for Being the Ricardos. And the year before that, I'm trying to think who it was, or was it kind of normal that year? I'm trying to remember. Actually, no, it was pretty normal in 2020. Still, for the past few years, there's been one lone Critics' Choice nomination that got to the Oscars. I'm looking out for who that could be. Elle Fanning and Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. Again, this makes sense because A Complete Unknown is that late-breaking film, and it is looking at getting some nominations. And Elle Fanning did get the the NBR win for supporting actress. But again, I'm trying to figure out where she would miss or where she would go. It's kind of tough. Isabella Mos Rossellini for Conclave. Honestly, she might be stronger than we think, but I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see about that. Margaret Qualley for The Substance. I think we get nominated if the movie was just really, really strong, but I'm not really ready to say that right now. And Joan Chen for Dee Dee. I'm just kind of throwing in there, but the Critics' Choice Awards aren't going to do that. Supporting actor. Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing. This is one of those things where it's I need Sing Sing to start winning some places. Also, wait, I just remembered for adapted screenplay. It's going to be really important for Sing Sing to win adapted screenplay here because Sing Sing is not eligible for the Writers Guild Awards. So it needs to win Critics' Choice or BAFTA, and preferably both. BAFTA is going to be a little bit of a tall order. I feel like it could still win BAFTA, but if it wants to win, it's got to win somewhere. And if Sing Sing can win at the Critics' Choice Awards for adapted screenplay, then they could definitely win the Oscar. But we're kind of But so, Clarence Macklin, he's the package you want for Sing Sing. Picture, supporting actor, adapted screenplay. and maybe a lead actor win with Coleman Domingo. We'll have to see. But yeah. Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Now that A Real Pain is looking like it's going to be in Best Picture, I feel like it's kind of undeniable that Kieran Culkin will get in. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Again, kind of coattailing the film as is. Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2. Again, I've seen people saying, oh, he might not get nominated at all. But I'm like, I don't know. Like he is still Denzel Washington. Like, he still got nominated for Roman J. Israel Esquire, and no one saw that movie. So, like, I'm pretty sure he could still get nominated for, for Gladiator 2. I have Yura Borisov in and Edward Norton. Honestly, this is my Golden Globes 6, I just realized. But I guess right now, it's like, I don't really know who to take out right now. Like, yeah, it is my Golden Globes lineup, but they're not going to match 6 out of 6, I can tell you that. But I don't know what to go with. I don't know who to take out or who to snub. So it's probably just going to be someone that I just don't even realize is a thing. Because I'm looking out for Jonathan Bailey because he did get the Astra Award nomination for some reason. I mean, like, he's good in Wicked, but does he need an Oscar nomination for that? No. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Brian Tyree Henry for The Fire Inside. Maybe he could happen. I'm kind of looking out for that. Stanley Tucci for Conclave and John Lithgow for Conclave. Mainly the Conclave boys are probably going to be doing better at international bodies like Golden Globe or BAFTA. More likely Stanley Tucci because he is more prominent in the film. Mark Edelstein for Anora. It seems like people aren't really nominating him. They're mainly nominating Yuri Borisov. So there's that. Adam Pearson for A Different Man, but I don't know if the movie's really that noticeable right now. J.K. Simmons for Saturday Night. Man, I'm kind of looking out for him now because, like, he does have, like, a big scene, and it's like, ooh, maybe. We'll have to see. Dennis Quaid for The Substance. I feel like this would be, like, the most likely place he would get in. But I think even if The Substance were in Best Picture, they wouldn't go so far as to nominate Dennis Quaid. And then Corey Michael Smith for Saturday Night. I don't know. I'm just kind of pulling names out of my ass right now, but I don't know. Let's say they really like Saturday Night, and maybe they just do it. I don't know. Best Young Actor or Actress. This is my kind of hot take. I feel like Cooper Hoffman is winning for Saturday Night because he's already, like, very well known, and, like, he's actually within age range to win, to be nominated here. And he does have, like, that big scene that people were, like, sharing all over Twitter where he's like, they're giving out the ads for free. Which was like, Jesus Christ. Phillips just came back from the dead right there. But yeah, I feel like he would probably win this. Because he does match the age, and, like, people are really buzzing about his performance. If not him, definitely Isaac Wong for Dee Dee. I'd look out for him. Brandon Wilson for Nickel Boys. Maybe. Elliot Heffernan for Blitz. Yeah, that would make sense too. And then, a couple of ones I really want to throw in there. Alia Brown for Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Like, half the movie's basically dedicated to her. And also Daphne Keane for Deadpool and Wolverine. You're probably thinking to yourself, what? But, again, age range. She's a very well-known actress. Like, she's been not only in Logan, which she was nominated for this same award for, but she was also starring in her own television series, His Dark Materials, and, I think she was also in The Acolyte. So it's like, she's pretty well-known. And if they wanted to nominate her for something, they could. Mainly, I guess this would also mainly be a thing, like, if they really wanted to nominate Deadpool and Wolverine for something. That would definitely, like, could be, like, a thing that happens. Alicia Weir for Abigail. Maybe. We'll have to see. I don't know. Nakia Adams for Bird. Maisie Stella for My Old Ass. Zoe Ziegler. Yeah, I'm kind of looking through here. It's like, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know why. I just feel very confident in this 6. Like, this 6 kind of just makes the most sense to me. Because you got the star power, you got the big movies nominated, and some of these films are at least in contention for big awards here. So there's that. Ensemble. I'm not even really so sure if Wicked's winning here. No, not Wicked. Sing Sing is winning here. Because, like, SAG Ensemble and Critics' Choice Ensemble don't really match up that much. I mean, yeah, they did with Oppenheimer, but even the year before that, you had, like, what was it? I feel like, oh yeah, Belfast won the Critics' Choice Ensemble Award, and Coda won the Screen Actors Guild Award. You know, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like hard to figure out like who's. So again, I don't really know if Sing Sing is winning ensemble here. I think it definitely will at the SAG Awards, but here, I'm just kind of, I don't know. Wicked, it's definitely going to get an ensemble nomination, even if it doesn't end up getting nominated for the Screen Actors Guild Award awards for, you know, ensemble. I feel like it would still get nominated here. Anora probably would happen. The critics really like Nora and its ensemble. The Brutalist, I don't think The Brutalist would get into the SAG Awards, but here, yeah. And then Saturday Night. This would be like their chance to really nominate a bunch of actors. And I feel like Saturday Night is still going to be remembered a little bit, so they might just nominate it here. Also, apparently I just found out that if Saturday Night were to get nominated for SAG Ensemble, it would break the record for the most actors listed for as a cast member for a film nominated in ensemble. Like basically, like it would break the record for the most credited names receiving the nomination or award. Emilia Perez, this is where I feel like maybe Emilia Perez would show weakness. It's like it doesn't even get ensemble. What? So yeah. Gladiator 2, maybe. Dune Part 2, Complete Unknown. I feel like Complete Unknown would do better at the Oscars. Not the Oscars, but the Screen Actors Guild Awards than here. But probably not at probably not at the Critics' Choice Awards. Challengers, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Piano Lesson. I don't know. Piano Lesson would probably get it up in there at the SAG Awards because they love August Wilson adaptations. But here, they don't really care about doing it that much. But again, we'll have to see. Cinematography. All right, this is getting really tough. Brutalist, yeah. Dune, yeah. I don't think Conclave's going to get the Oscar nomination, but here, that would make sense. Wicked, no, Nickel Boys. I'm really wondering how Nickel Boys is going to do in the cinematography race as a whole. Because I've been thinking, like, granted, I've not seen the movie, but I'm wondering if it's just like, you know, a narrative thing with the cinematography, or the cinematography actually is, like, really technically well done. But then again, we'll have to see. Maybe it might be. Wicked, people are going to hate this nomination, but it's probably going to happen. But it could probably happen here. Again, because Wicked's just going to be a big contender overall. And Nosferatu. Critics are really going out for Nosferatu in cinematography, which is surprising. But hey, I'm happy. It's making me wonder, like, can Nosferatu get in here and at the ASC? Because I'm pretty sure The Lighthouse wasn't eligible for like the normal award at ASC, but I don't know for sure. But they gave it like a special award. But I'm wondering if since then, like, they've embraced, you know, the cinematographer for Nosferatu, because maybe this does happen. I'm wondering if Nosferatu can get a cinematography nomination. Honor and Emilia Perez, I'm mainly putting in there because they really, really love their Best Picture nominees and Tex. Furiosa might happen. Like, Furiosa, like, it's actually performing better in critic circles than I thought. So maybe Furiosa could get in. Maria, it is Edward Lockman, and I'm definitely predicting Maria for the win at the... Not the win, but the nomination at the Oscars. But I don't think they would go for Maria here. The Substance, if they really love The Substance, then maybe. Gladiator 2, Saturday Night, Blitz, Challengers, Complete Unknown, Girl with the Needle. Again, I feel like that's a film, and also a Complete Unknown. Those two films would be like ASC nominated, and then I would go off of them to predict the Oscar nominees. But yeah, this makes the most sense to me right now. I do think The Brutalist is winning because it is such a large-scale film made on a $6 million budget. People are going to go, wow, look at this cinematography. This is awesome. So, yeah. Film editing. All right. I do want to believe that Dune is winning the Oscar, so I'll go for it here. But we'll have to see. Honora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Wicked, Saturday Night. I don't think Honora's going to get the Oscar nomination, but again, you know, for critics, they probably, again, this is definitely where they're going to want to pick some favorites. And Saturday Night, again, like Air, it could get some non-Best Picture related nominations, or like it can get into a couple of crafts. We'll have to see. Emilia Perez, again, this would probably be showing like how weak it is overall. Like if it can't get an editing nomination, then it would absolutely be a bottom 5 film. Absolutely. Trying to think. Oh yeah, Nickel Boys, maybe, but I don't know how precise the editing is in that film. Challengers, I mean, people are all talking about the editing in that. I'm wondering if, you know, if it could start to take some if it could start taking traction. I don't know exactly. The Substance, I mean, if they really love The Substance, they could do that, and it's definitely deserving. And if it were to get to Best Picture here, maybe The Substance could win film editing, because that could also do well with predicting it for the Oscar for Best Sound, so you could have that. Furiosa, again, if this movie turns out to be stronger than we thought, at least in terms of text, then maybe this could happen. Sing Sing, I would not mind this, but I don't know if it's like showy enough to show it, to nominate at the Critics' Choice Awards. Gladiator 2, Blitz, Complete Unknown, September 5. Maybe a Complete Unknown should be a little bit higher up than Blitz and Gladiator, because like at least people are seeing Complete Unknown, whereas Gladiator and Blitz, like, no one cares about those movies at all. Production design. All right, production design. We have Wicked winning. I have Dune, Gladiator 2, Brutalist, Conclave, and then that fifth slot, I'm going to go with Furiosa, because again, it's performing better than we thought with critics. So maybe they do nominate it in quite a few texts here. Beetlejuice, again, this is one of those things, because if Beetlejuice is nominated at the Oscars, I have to predict it for the win, and because the freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, like every Tim Burton film that was nominated for, production design got the win, and only one of them had any precursor support, which was Sleepy Hollow. So I'm looking over Beetlejuice, because Beetlejuice is going to get nominated for the sci-fi fantasy category at the Art Directors Guild. So that's easy. But if Beetlejuice shows up either here or BAFTA in production design, then I would probably be willing to say, all right, I'm going to put it in for production design, and it's probably going to win. Let's see. Nosferatu. Critics have been going out for Nosferatu in production design. But again, I wonder if, it's too out there, because it's also, a vampire movie. We'll have to see. Blitz, it is a very big set. The sets are pretty big, but no one cares about Blitz. Emilia Perez, I don't know, too contemporary. Maybe not too contemporary, because I just have Conclave in here, which I don't think Conclave's going to get the Oscar nomination, but I think it would still show up here again, because the Critics' Choice Awards love nominating everything in Best Picture in their categories. The Substance is contemporary, but it's also very striking. But again, I would need to see an overperformance of The Substance for me to believe this is happening. Saturday Night. Again, if they really like this movie, they could do that, because the sets do seem pretty big. But I don't know, it's not really as showy as one would think, so probably not. Maria, I think, is going to get the Oscar nomination. But again, the critics, they're not going to pay attention to that movie right now. And Alien Romulus, I don't know, I just kind of thought the production design was really, really cool. I just want to, yeah. Costume design, let's go. Wicked, I feel like, wins again. Dune Part 2. Gladiator 2, Maria, Conclave. I don't think Conclave would get the Oscar nomination, because it's too what's the word I'm looking for? It's too contemporary. Yes, they did indeed, rebuild the Vatican, but it's also that already kind of exists right now. So I don't think that would make it in at the Oscars. And Furiosa, again, I feel like Furiosa is going to do very well in some of these texts. Beetlejuice, I'm kind of looking out for that, because it has been getting some awards nominations in costumes. So I'm watching out for that. Same thing with Nosferatu. Oh, man. There's a lot of, sort of horror adjacent, or I guess maybe, there's been, a few horror adjacent films wanting to get into the Oscars for some things. The Brutalist, for costume design, I think it would be more likely for the Oscar, but probably not here. Blitz, people don't really care about that movie. I don't know. Emilia Perez, too contemporary, even for a Critics' Choice, I believe, and Joker Folie à Deux. Again, would not hate this, but everyone hates this movie, so that's not happening. Hair and makeup. All right, this is where we truly see if The Substance has any bite. because if the substance does not win here, oh, that's bad. That's really freaking bad. I have Wicked here. I don't think Wicked's gonna get the Oscar nomination, but they're kind of basic when it comes to makeup. They don't really go. Unlike the Oscars, where the Oscars will mainly go for like prosthetic stuff. The Critics' Choice Awards are mainly safe. They'll do like just hairstyling stuff. I mean, good God, they gave Barbie the win last year for makeup. That didn't need to happen. I don't know why. Dune Part 2, I think, again, pretty good bet in makeup, I would say. At least at the Critics' Choice Awards. Furiosa, I think Furiosa is going to be fine when it comes to these techs, especially with, like, makeup. Because, like, pretty much every character has some form of prosthetics on them. It's kind of nuts. Beetlejuice, yeah, you know what, yeah, makeup, that makes sense to me. Especially if it's going to be, like, a big tech juggernaut. And Nosferatu, I'm still wondering if this could actually still get nominated for the Oscar, especially with how packed and tight this... the hair and makeup category of the Oscars is. Like, it's really, like, there's so much competition. Which is why I don't think Emilia Perez is getting in at the Critics' Choice Awards. Because, again, the hype for that movie is really descending down. And I feel like the Oscars would be more likely to give the nomination to something like Emilia Perez. Where it's like, I mean, hell, they literally gave Golda, the Bleecker Street movie that no one saw, an Oscar nomination for makeup. So, there you go. But I don't know if Emilia Perez is going to get nominated. So, I don't know. I think, again, it's more likely for the Oscar, I feel. Saturday Night and The Complete Unknown and Gladiator 2, I don't think would make the Oscars. But again, they do have, you know, hairstyling and stuff, and the Critics' Choice Awards would do that, probably. Gladiator 2. Oh, wait, no, I already said Gladiator 2. Joker Folie à Deux. Yeah, actually, no, I don't know. People hate that movie. Never mind. I'm just talking about some others like Hitman, Maria, a different man, Sasquatch Sunset, and the Apprentice. I feel like would be more likely at the Oscars, considering they have more prosthetics. But the Critics' Choice Awards, they don't need prosthetics that much. Visual effects. Okay, I'm kind of wait a second. Okay, I fixed it. Yeah. Dune, it's winning again. Yeah. I'm really, although if Wicked won here, because it is technically number 2 because it's in Best Picture, so, yeah. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is going to get nominated here. Gladiator 2, probably. Even though it's, weirdly enough, Gladiator has been missing some visual effects, you know, nominations. I'm like, why? That's weird. Furiosa has actually been getting nominated in some places, so I'm like, alright, called that. And then, I'm going to go with Twisters right now, because it does kind of make sense. Obviously, and honestly, it's kind of a better alternative than like Beetlejuice or goddamn The Substance. The Substance has been weirdly getting visual effects nominations. It's like, why? Like, it's makeup. Like, yes, there is, like, there are some visual effects in The Substance, sure, but it's not really anything that special. It's really just there to kind of enhance the makeup. Like, sort of like how the visual effects and Everything Everywhere All at Once were mainly there as an extension of its editing. Poor Things visual effects was mainly an extension of its production design. We don't need The Substance getting into visual effects. And same thing with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is just too old school. I really don't want them to do it, but oh my god, they could. Because here's the thing. You can't think like a visual effects artist when you think of the Critics' Choice Awards. You have to think like a normie who like only nominates movies that they like. And God, if they wanted to do The Substance, they could. Oh my, like that would upset me. Deadpool and Wolverine, maybe, but like I don't know. It's just kind of tough. Alien Romulus, it does have some big visual effects sequences, and honestly, it's going to get shortlisted, I feel, but I don't know. Mufasa, it's lowered down, not just because I feel like the effects are just way worse than the first film's effects, but also, like, I don't think anyone's seen it yet, so it's just kind of weird. Blitz, no. No. Even for, like, a Best Picture contending film, it's kind of, like, it's already been really dying. I don't think it's going to get nominated. Better Man... I don't feel like that would, I don't know, maybe not. I don't even know if as many critics have seen it. Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. I don't think any of the MonsterVerse movies got in, so probably not. The Wild Robot, only if they really love The Wild Robot, but probably not. And I'm going to put in Hundreds of Beavers here, not because I wanted to get in, I absolutely do not. Like, I feel like what we're seeing, like, yes, there's visual effects in the film, but again, it's mainly an achievement in directing or storyboarding, because that, like, there's nothing really technologically like that, like, groundbreaking in the effects. I don't want this to happen, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there in case we, have like a bad day for visual effects. Let's see. Original score. This is where my hot take comes in, at least in terms of who I think wins. I think it's going to be Dune, like Dune Part 2. I don't know why I didn't put a Part 2 in there. I don't know. But Dune Part 2, it's recently been confirmed that, yes, it is ineligible for Best Original Score at the Oscars, which is weird because apparently Wicked is eligible. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, all right, Dune, sure, I could see why that would be ineligible, because there was a lot of repeating themes in there, but, like, Wicked? How is Wicked eligible? I don't understand this at all. Still, Dune, like, if there's one thing the Critics' Choice Awards like to do, it's like they like to stick it to the Oscars by giving movies that either were snubbed or not shortlisted or disqualified from a category, and just give it the award. Like last year, Oppenheimer wasn't shortlisted for visual effects, and yet the Critics' Choice Awards gave it the win. Barbie wasn't shortlisted for makeup, and yet the Critics' Choice Awards gave it the win. Tar, the year before then, was disqualified from Best Original Score at the Oscars, and yet the Critics' Choice Awards gave it the win. West Side Story, even though it was obviously it was eligible for editing, it did not get nominated for editing at the Oscars, so the Critics' Choice Awards said, all right, we're just going to give it the win here. So it's like they kind of like to stick it to the Oscars quite a bit, and I feel like they would do that with Dune. Emilia Perez, probably, yeah, I think that would be in for a nomination. If Dune weren't really that, if we're just genuinely not contending here, then I feel like Emilia Perez could probably win. It is an original musical, but then again, I don't know what's happening. The Brutalist, Conclave, Challengers, again, I'm wondering if this can get the Oscar nomination, because it's not in Best Picture, but on the other hand, there's not a lot of, like, Best Picture contending films that have, like, a strong score, so I don't know. Wicked, actually, yeah, maybe they would, because they nominated Barbie last year, and again, they're going to throw, like, a Wicked Palooza, so they might just, like, go, hey, you know what, we're just going to nominate this for score, let's go, even though I don't know what music in this film, other than, like, maybe some underscore, would be original, so I don't know. The Wild Robot, again, if it wants to perform very well, they could probably get nominated here. Saturday Night, again, same thing with Wild Robot. If the passion for the film is a lot stronger, then maybe. Blitz, because it is also done by Hans Zimmer, but they're already going to nominate Dune. Gladiator 2, Room Next Door. Room Next Door, I'm still looking out for at the Globes, because they could probably nominate it for score. Sing Sing and Nosferatu. I think Sing Sing would probably get into the Oscars, but it's not quite there. It hasn't reached that amount of popularity yet. All right. Then we have original song. Again, I feel like Mi Camino is going to win here. It's kind of like the more slow romantic song that the Oscars like. So yeah, El Mal. It's just going to be like an honor to be nominated. Even though I would vote for El Mal over El Camino. Like like El Mal is like a really cool song. Kiss the Sky from the Wild Robot. Again, I don't think Kiss the Sky is going to get nominated at the Oscars, but they'll probably do it here. Piece by Piece from Piece by Piece. That makes sense to me. Ain't No Love in Oklahoma from Twisters. This should get the Oscar nomination, but it probably won't. But it'll make it here, probably. And then Beyond from Moana 2 or We're Back from Moana 2. One of the Moana songs I feel like is going to get nominated here. Sort of like how Wish got nominated for song here, because it like just came out and it's kind of fresh in everyone's memories, and it kind of took people a while to realize like, wait, this movie isn't good. Then we have Harper and Will Go West. Maybe this could get nominated, but I don't know. Why I'm Here from Shirley, I feel like that would be more of like a Critics' Choice, no, of a Golden Globes nomination here. What is it? Compress, Repress from Challengers. Maybe this happens. Honestly, that could maybe happen. Forbidden Land from Better Man, The Journey from the 6888, this is like, that's a Diane Warren song, and she would absolutely get into the Oscars, but I don't think the movie would be nominated here at the Critics' Choice Awards. Winter's Code from Blitz, maybe. Like a Bird from Sing Sing, I feel like, again, is more of a Oscars thing. than a Critics' Choice thing. I Always Wanted a Brother. They've released a clip of that song, of like the beginning of that song, and I gotta say, it sounds awful. It sounds like some like Lion Guard bullshit. Like it just because like it's weird because like if you've seen the Lion Guard, it's like every song basically sounds the same. And they all sound like I Always Wanted a Brother. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's just the same fucking beat and the same kind of instrumentals. It's just like, damn, there's like no imagination here. The song sounds awful. Folly Ado from Joker. No one likes that movie. Yo, Folly Ado, do. I'm not even listening to the song. I'm just fucking like putting melodies in it. God. Double Life from Despicable Me 4. They're probably already Pharrell pilled with Piece by Piece, but I don't know. And animated feature, Wild Robot, I feel like would probably win here. I'm still looking out for Wallace and Gromit, man. I'm still looking out for that. Inside Out 2, you know, people don't like this as much as the first film, so not, yeah. Flow. Yeah, wait, no. Flow's been getting nominated a lot of places, so it's gonna be fine. It's even gotten some international nominations, which is really fascinating. Moana 2, I would normally not say Moana 2. But, like, again, the fact that it's come out, like, the fact that it came out right when Golden Globes and Critics' Choice voting was happening means that it's probably still fresh in their memories and they're probably going to nominate it, sort of like how they did Wish last year. And I'm going to go with Transformers 1 instead of Memoir of a Snail because I don't think we're going to get, like, the Oscar 5 in Best Animated Feature right now. I mean, if we did, and we actually did get Memoir of a Snail, that'd be great. Hell, swap out Moana 2 and put in Snail, and you got, like, oh my god, great category. But, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Transformers 1, the more populist film to get in. Despicable Me 4, god, no, let's not do that. Piece by Piece, again, more like Illumination slop, even though I don't think that's Illumination, but it's basically Illumination. What is it? Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Yeah, no, probably not. Kung Fu Panda 4, the Garfield movie. I don't know. I just wanted to put the Garfield movie in there for some reason. And foreign language film. Alright. Again, the first four, I think, are just very, very easy. Amelia Perez, See the Sacred Fig, All You Imagine Is Light, I'm Still Here, Kneecap. Yeah. Again, I don't think Kneecap's going to ultimately make it at the Oscars because it's a little bit too wacky and zany. And obviously, All We Imagine Is Light is not eligible for best international film at the Oscars because India did not submit it, so it can't get nominated, but it can get nominated here. So this four makes the most sense to me. So what else could get nominated? Well, I'm going with universal language right now, but a number of things could happen. All right? No Other Land, I think, is technically foreign language film, and it is like a big documentary sweeper right now, so I'm wondering if that can happen. I want to put in Flow so badly, because Flow makes sense, but the problem is, it's called Best Foreign Language Film, meaning, it's technically not in English, technically, but there's also no language in Flow whatsoever, so, like, would this count? I'm not really sure. I mean, I hope Flow gets nominated. Flow's great. I would love it. And that would make me really think if it can actually get the Oscar nomination. So, yeah. How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies. Again, I'm wondering if that can make the Oscar lineup. The Girl with the Needle, I feel like that would most likely show up at BAFTA. That's most likely a BAFTA show up. Although if it showed up here, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's stronger than I thought it would be. Evil Does Not Exist, again, not going to be eligible for the Oscars, but I feel like it maybe has a chance here. The Count of Monte Cristo, Vermiglio, Parthenope, and Grand Tour. And so, yeah, guys, I feel like, yeah, that will do it for my Critics' Choice nomination predictions. Again, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I think nominations are up on Tuesday, which is really exciting. But now I want to pass the question off to you. What are your Critics' Choice Awards nomination predictions? All right, let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure you hit that subscribe button because if you don't, you're not going to flow.